Aviwe, you were at Sibanye's headquarters there. What did they have to say about yet another incident whereby people die at their mines?
It's a somber mood at Sibanye-Stillwater, where yet again, in the space of a month, a handful of people went into work this morning, yesterday, and didn't come back from work. This is a count of about 10 deaths within the last month alone. If we could total back the whole year, you can count more than 18 deaths here. So it is a somber mood. I've spoken to a couple of workers there. While Sibanye-Stillwater is adamant that it's still conducting investigations as to exactly what happened, those workers there are adamant themselves that the workers that went into that abandoned shaft couldn't have done so without getting direction as to go there themselves. I spoke to a couple of people there. I spoke to also the health and safety security officer of the National Union of Mine Workers, who's also quite angry at what happened over there. Peter, there he is.
We've already stated that we are concerned about the regress in our safety record. In fact, we have been engaging with a variety of stakeholders. Just 3 weeks ago, ourselves, the DMR, and the unions, AMCU, Solidarity, NUM, and WASA, we sat in a dialogue where we were wanting to get to the bottom of the challenges we are facing with a view that we will map a way forward, because you can appreciate that there's different components to safety in the workplace. There's management part, which is about processes, standards, enforcing mindset and behavior. But obviously there are employees themselves who are part of these equations, as well as unions and the DMR, who are supposed to obviously work together with us to assist us to turn the corner in this regard.
Now, we've had 18 fatalities this year. Is Sibanye-Stillwater taking the blame of these fatalities?
Look, we take responsibility in a sense that these fatalities happen in our operations. But the reality of each and every situation is that there's an investigation that gets conducted, and it's only once the facts of the investigation have been established that we are able, obviously, to get to the bottom of it.
We apologize for playing you the wrong clip there. That wasn't Peter. Of course, that was the spokesperson for Sibanye-Stillwater.
Yeah, that was the spokesperson of Sibanye-Stillwater, and straight after I spoke to her, I wanted to see actually where the shaft was. So even the way that they were escorting us, they made sure we were told directly that not to interact with any of the workers. Like, we were guarded literally by guards taking us there, with someone escorting us while we were taking the visuals, and they didn't let us inside.
Sounds
there.
like an ANC conference covering that.
You see, but they were very guarded on what and how we interacted, even with people there. They made sure that we don't speak to any of the workers there or anyone, in fact, from Sibanye. So you can see that there's something there that is happening. But we did, as I mentioned, speak to the head of safety and security, Peter Bailey, who had this to say.
The reality of the matter is we are not being told the truth. You can't have a situation where an employer says to you that I don't know what you're doing in Office A during working hours when I'm reporting for duty, and I get paid for that. How does the employer say it? They do not know what these people were doing in that area because it's an abandoned shaft. But when we spoke to them and we got a briefing, there's contradictory views, because this so-called abandoned shaft is not sealed off as it should be in terms of the law. That's point number one. Point number two, I asked, so there's no ventilation there? They said, no, there is ventilation. The ventilation was switched off. Now, the third point that brings these many questions to the fore is that the briefing we got from management now says that the shift boss who was leading that team had a meeting with the mine overseer not far from there. But the mine overseer apparently said he left because the shift boss did not arrive. There's no shift boss that does not go and see a mine overseer when he is summoned. And there's no shift boss that would take people and lead them to an area that they are not supposed to be in, because he knows he can be dismissed and criminally charged.